QTV on our news. Here's our headlines. Finance Minister Wale Mandu says that government has put a lid on new borrowing. The Ministry of Health has clarified that the cost of constructing Bangolu Regional Hospital in the Social District is at $1,000,000. And Chief Whip Brahmi Mandu says the Law Association of Zambia's decision to go to court over the constitutional bill will not stop the legislative process quickly. And now details in the news. Finance Minister Wale Mandu says government has put a lid on new borrowing and is critically at non-debt options like public-private partnerships in order to continue delivering public goods and services. Speaking during a US-Zambia bilateral meeting in Lusaka, Dr. Ngandu disclosed that he has the full backing of cabinet in his task of scaling up the implementation of fiscal consolidation and austerity measures. He says efficient debt management is an imperative which he has put at the top of his to-do list. Dr. Ngandu states that while maintaining the compliance thrust in servicing debt, the Ministry of Finance will continue to pay special attention to dismantling domestic arrears, as this will unlock activities in the private sector and get the economy's progress in an upward trajectory. He further adds that capacity building initiatives for Zambians to manage large and big budget projects is one of the priorities for government, as it will have a lasting positive impact on the ability of the local private sector to initiate, construct and manage infrastructure and other high-value projects. And U.S. Embassy Chief of Mission Martin Dale says that the efforts of the Zambian government in implementing the 7th National Development Plan amid economic challenges are commendable and deserve congratulations. Mr. Dale says that the U.S. will continue to cultivate a strategic partnership with Zambia to ensure that strong results in social sectors, private sector development, governance, treasury management, conservation, tourism, and other priority areas of cooperation are delivered. Meanwhile, U.S. Embassy Political and Economic Section Chief Doreen Bailey called on the ministers to speed up the identification of priority areas of external support under the current austerity model and to strengthen domestic resource mobilization. She also encouraged the minister to share a roadmap of key dates as the country heads towards implementation of sales tax so that the market could continue to fare well. The Ministry of Health has clarified that the cost for the construction of the Bangolu Regional Hospital in Lupososhi District, Northern Province, is 154,174,340 kwacha 17 ngwe, contrary to assertions that the amount is in United States dollars. The Ministry of Health spokesperson Dr. Abel Cavallo says President Edgar Lungu was clear in his statement during the laying of the foundation stone, indicating that 154,174,340 kwacha 17 ngwe and not the exaggerated figure in dollars. Dr. Cavallo says the construction of the ultra-modern medical facility, which will have a bed capacity of 800 patients, is a welcome development to the people of Bangweulu and surrounding areas that have to trek long distances in search of medical services. He says the hospital will provide special referral services to the northern region of Zambia. Government has welcomed the decision by the Law Association of Zambia LAS to go to court to challenge the constitutionality of the Constitution Amendment Bill 2019. Minister of Justice Kevin Lubinda says LAS is within its democratic right to take legal action on the constitutionality of the bill. Mr. Lubinda states that government cannot also stop LAS from suing President Edgar Lungu over the constitution refinement process. He has told QTV News that as a Democrat, President Lungu is fully aware that when a citizen is aggrieved over any action taken by government, the first point of recourse is going to the courts of law. Mr. Lubinda notes that this is why all those cited by LAS in the court of action will be responding to the petition accordingly.
The Democratic President, like Edgar Chagwa Lungu, every citizen who has an issue of interpretation of the law will not take to the streets. Instead, they will do exactly what the Law Association of Zambia is doing. They will go to court to seek the interpretation of the court. So that is a welcome decision. We cannot stop the Law Association of Zambia seeking interpretation of the Constitutional Court. They are at liberty to do that. And obviously those who have been cited will also be given an opportunity to be heard by the court before the court determines the matter. So I think it's okay for us. We're happy that they've done that. We shall go to court and the matter shall be determined by a right institution, the judiciary.
And Chief Whip Brian Munduvide says the legislative process to pass the Constitution Amendment Bill 2019 into law will continue despite the Law Association of Zambia court's action to stop the process. Mr. Munduvide says besides having the inherent jurisdiction to make laws, Parliament enjoys exclusive cognizance which allows it immunity to do its internal processes without interruption or threat. In an interview with QTV News, Mr. Munduvide has argued that this entails that when Parliament is carrying out its legislative function, it cannot be threatened with court action.
You see, there is an authority which is still good law. This was in the Nkumbula case, Nkumbula versus Attorney General. Nkumbula challenged, the introduction of a bill in Parliament when the then government wanted to introduce a bill in Parliament. And the court ruled that you could not challenge a bill. You could only challenge an act of Parliament. Because a bill really is just a proposal, an act of Parliament which would be inconsistent or contradict the Supreme Law. Then you can challenge it. So clearly we are still relying on that authority, and we are saying, yes, the matter has gone to court. The court will eventually. As regards the parties, maybe the question that you were asking is as to whether the president was a proper party to sue. The proper party to sue in that case is the Attorney General, even in the case of the Speaker. It's the Attorney General. That is why we can only speculate as to why they proceeded to sue this way. It was common cause. Everybody knows this. It's just not the lawyers that know this. Yeah, but I think that it's also on account of the fact that the petitioners may have no faith in this particular action. Hence the lack of care as to who they were suing this particular matter.
Government has been challenged to tell the nation what the impact of the solar milling plants has been on the price of milling meal in the country. Former Commerce Minister in the Frederick Chiluba MMD administration, William Harrington, has wondered why the price of milling meal has remained high when the milling plants have been installed across the country. Mr. Harrington has told QTV News that government should state whether or not these milling plants are actually operational. He recalls that President Edgar Lungu promised that the price of milling meal would eventually reduce once the solar milling plants had been installed.
I want to ask what happened to the so-called solar milling plants which were brought in from a friendly country at great cost to the Zambian taxpayer. What has happened to them? We were told by the president that the project would ultimately, or the aim was to reduce the price of milling in the country. Why has the price not been reduced? Because these things, I believe, they were all over the country today, but the price of milling meal, as president is concerned, still remain high. Is it another failed Patriotic Front government project? A project which was never researched in the first place.
Attorney General Dikando Kalaluka has noted the urgent need for law enforcement agencies to devise strategies that will seek to ensure that those who commit trade-based money laundering are counted in a most effective way. Speaking during the official opening of a 4-day anti-money laundering workshop in Lusaka, Mr. Kalaluka notes that given the growth in the world trade-based money laundering has been identified as an area of vulnerability where money laundering and terrorism financing are concerned. He says trade-based money laundering techniques can be used to evade tax customs duty as well as abuse of tax incentives, hence the need to enforce the law efficiently to deal with such vices. Mr. Kalaluka states that research has shown that when government takes action against certain methods of anti-money laundering and other financial crimes, culprits change their way of operation in order to avoid being caught, hence the need to ensure that the law is enforced effectively by authorities. He adds that there is also need for the training of competent authorities and financial institutions to ensure that their officers have sufficient knowledge to recognize trade-based money laundering when it occurs.
In practice, trade-based money laundering cannot be achieved through the military.
In practice, trade-based money laundering can be achieved through the misrepresentation of the price, the quantity, or the quality of imports or exports. Trade-based money laundering techniques vary in complexity and are frequently used in combination with other money laundering techniques, such as layering the financial transactions, the use of offshore accounts, and shell companies. The use of bulk cash as well as underground financial system to further obscure the money trail.
Speaking at the same event, Financial Intelligence Center FIC Director General Mary Chirwa says money laundering crimes cut across different institutions, hence the need to collaborate in fighting the vice. And the Conference of Western Attorneys General Africa Alliance Partnership Board member Marcus Green says the alliance has been building the capacity of law enforcement agencies in member countries in a bid to combat transaction crimes.
Any crime that cuts across borders, we're pretty much involved in and help facilitate some of the training. When I say facilitate, I mean facilitate, because one of the things that I want you to keep in mind as we embark upon this workshop is that this is going to be a shared experience. This is not a lecture. This is an exchange of information. So I'm asking all of you, as you go through the next 4 days, to participate, to get engaged. Many of you are law enforcement, many of you are lawyers, so be advocates. You know, stand up, ask questions, make comments. You get in what you put in.
And we have given it a united fight to ensure that criminals don't have their time in this country, and therefore we have ensured that we are going to work together to fight money laundering.
All People's Congress President, APC President Nelson Musoni has called on relevant stakeholders to report government to The Hague for refusing to declare the hunger situation a national disaster that would allow international effort to bring in food aid. And Mr. Musoni has appealed to the international community to immediately declare a humanitarian crisis and render help to the Zambian people who are in dire need of food aid before it is too late. He says the refusal by government to declare hunger a national disaster is a serious indictment of human rights. Mr. Musoni says the hunger situation in the drought-hit areas calls for immediate concerted international efforts to help avert a humanitarian disaster.
Prematurely to their death. And we think that it is erroneous and called for to fight those who represent foreign governments for cancelling this government on the need to call for humanitarian assistance to the victims of drought. The majority of our people have no food, and it is not too late for Mr. Lungu to declare an emergency, a food emergency. We are in a crisis. We think that this attitude, this callous attitude by this government is endangering the lives of our citizens. Now is the time to act. Now is the time to act. We shall hold you accountable for any loss of lives.
The Zambia National Building Society, ZNBS, has paid a 1.5 million kwacha dividend to government for a third consecutive year. And Finance Minister Wale Ngando says the dividend payment is evidence that ZNBF is a viable institution. Speaking during the launch of the 2019 to 2023 Zambia National Building Society ZNBS Corporate Strategic Plan, Dr. Ngando says it is for this reason that government gave a sovereign guarantee to the Africa Development Bank to acquire $25 million United States dollars on behalf of ZNBS. He says the guarantee is meant to cushion Zambia's housing deficit, which has contributed to the high cost of land, thereby leading to the mushrooming of unplanned settlements with poor sanitation. The minister has since commended the ZNBS for delivering an outstanding performance and urged other state-owned enterprises to emulate ZNBS.
As we embark on the implementation of this plan, you are aware that the success of corporate strategy plans require a combination of effort among the various stakeholders. However, the primary responsibility of implementing the corporate strategic plan lies with the board, with management, and with the employees, which means this plan is not another one of those documents which you put on your shelf and never read. Yes? This is not just for management, it's not just for the board, it's also for employees, because the document outlines your major strategic objectives which you have to achieve. You cannot put your hand to the plow to help the company achieve its objectives if you have not read the plan. So I hope it's a plan, it's a document that everybody within the Zambia National Building Society across the country will read.
Speaking at the same event, ZNBS Board Chairperson David Nama says the strategic plan will be used as an instrument for guidance and direction in meeting customer expectations. Dr. Nama says the plan is adaptable to changes in the business environment, thereby capturing ZNBS to embrace innovating as a basis of deriving operational efficiency and effectiveness. And Zambia National Building Society Managing Director Joseph Chikolwa has emphasized that the plan has been formulated to align the strategic objectives of ZNBS to its core mandate of providing affordable housing finance.
This will be done through public-private partnerships with housing developers, introducing new products such as the youth mortgage, the diaspora mortgage, the rent-to-own model, foreign currency mortgages, and women mortgages. Lastly, to increase the resource envelope of the society is yet another pillar. This will be done by introducing or increasing the Class B shareholding by measures such as converting willing savings account holders into shareholders.
This plan shows the society's vision for the next 5 years with the clear, measurable objectives and solutions to address the issues affecting the institution, with our customers demanding nothing less than our excellent service, relevant products, and convenient in accessing our products and services. The plan will be used as an instrument for guidance and direction in meeting customer expectation. Having been designed as a dynamic and flexible tool, the plan is adaptable to change in the business environment, thereby prompting the society to embrace innovation as a basis of deriving operational efficiency and effectiveness.
A first-year Catholic University student has been gang-raped by 3 unknown men in Kalolushi district. Police in the district have since launched a manhunt for the 3 suspects. Copperbelt Police Chief Charity Katanga, who confirmed the development to Zanis in an interview, said the incident happened on 12 August 2019, around 23 hours along JVC Road in North Kalengwa area. Ms. Katanga said the incident happened after the victim, whose name has been withheld, was coming from a drinking spree with her boyfriend and heading to their boarding house. She stated that the duo were offered a lift by unknown people who were driving an unregistered silver Toyota Corolla, who later forced her boyfriend out of the car and drove off to JVC Road, where they parked and forcefully took turns in raping her. Ms. Katanga further said the victim was later dropped near the Catholic University premises and was only picked and taken to hospital by well-wishers after they found her lying while crying for help alongside the road. She explained that the victim sustained general body pains, painful vagina, painful right eye, and a bruised right thigh. Ms. Katanga said investigations into the matter have since been intensified. Finance Minister Wale Ngandu has endorsed an instruction for Atlas Mara Bank to transfer 251 million kwacha to the local authority's superannuation fund, LASIF, for the payment of retirees. LASIF Retirees Pressure Group Media Liaison spokesperson Stephen Mumba has confirmed that Dr. Ngandu issued the instruction last week. Mr. Mumba, however, says from the meeting his group had on Tuesday, 13th August with LASIF management, the 251 million kwacha will not be enough to pay all retirees who are being owed. He has, I beg your pardon. He has told QTV News that owing to the number of new retirees who have accumulated between 2016 and 2019, the figure of the amount LASIF must pay has now risen to 549 million kwacha. Mr. Mumba states that the fact that the new balance is now 248 million kwacha, some LASIF members will not receive their benefits in full. He says it has since been resolved that the fund will only pay in full members whose benefits have been outstanding for a longer period of time.
As of today, when we had a meeting with LASIF management, we were told that because of new retirees from 2016 to 2019, the figure has gone up from 401 now, it's at 549 million, meaning that we are having a balance of 248 million, which will not be paid from the current money that the government has committed. This means that some members will not receive their benefits in full. The fund.
First Lady Esther Lungo has called for the upgrading of emoluments for teachers who have given themselves to educate children who are differently abled. Speaking during the 2019 First Lady for a Day at State House, Mrs. Lungo says that the teachers sacrifice a lot, hence they should be recognized and motivated so that a lot more other teachers will come into this stream. She has noted that upgrading their incomes will encourage more teachers, thereby enabling more differently abled children to be educated. Mrs. Lungo has also advised young girls who were part of the First Lady for a Day to make school their best friend, stay away from teen pregnancies and finish their tertiary education. The 2019 First Lady for a Day was anchored by Junior Achievement Zambia, Faweza, and supported by SUMBWE Bank.
Certainly, these young people may forget many things about their experience of the past days, but they will never forget their visit to your upmarket premises and the commitment of your very experienced staff. I am glad that SUMBWE Bank has taken a unique and innovative way of advancing its corporate social responsibility. We all know that most corporate social responsibility activities demand for immediate benefits. But for SUMBWE Bank Zambia Limited, it stands out in that most of the young people involved with junior achievement will use their acquired experience for their lifetime. To you, my dear boys and girls, I am here to encourage you to work hard, just like you've been encouraged from the mentorship program we had this morning, to make this experience a stepping stone for your future career progression.
Speaking at the same event, Minister of General Education David Mawumba, in a speech read on his behalf by Permanent Secretary Dr. Jobix Kalumba, says the ministry will ensure that every district has special needs schools so that children with special needs can access education.
I do know some districts, I don't know that in Zambia, yes, there could be some districts which do not have special education schools, and this makes it very difficult for the children to access education. And allow me to mention that this mentorship program is very appropriate and has come at an opportune time when my ministry is implementing the new curriculum, which promotes the two-tier education system, encompassing the academic and vocational career pathways. With this development, we want our young people to have the right skills, knowledge, and values to economically empower themselves through entrepreneurship and businesses development, as well as through the academic career pathways. This cannot be achieved without the involvement and guidance and counseling to ensure that our young people are taught how to make good career choices that ultimately benefit our communities throughout the Republic of Zambia.
And Junior Achievement Africa Chief Executive Officer Elizabeth Bintliff has reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting education. Meanwhile, SUMBWE Bank Zambia Board Chairman Dr. Austin Mwabe says the bank believes in inclusivity. Hence, it is exciting to note that this year, all 60 pupils participating in the mentorship program are differently abled.
It is an honor for me to be present as we award another group of rural-based boys and girls who are achieving their best to pursue their careers. Madam First Lady, I would like to congratulate you and to thank you for investing your time and energy in this special program, which is equipping young people from rural parts of the country in workforce readiness skills. I would like to thank you for agreeing to host this life-changing program every year. I know that you have multiple demands on your time and energy, and the fact that you choose to do this is a testament to your belief in Zambia's youth and that you choose to make them a priority.
And what can be more impactful than educating a young mind and equipping pupils from rural areas with the necessary tools to build meaningful lives for themselves. It is for this reason, Madam First Lady, that SUMBWE has continued to put its weight behind this mentorship program and remains committed to supporting this honorable cause. Madam First Lady, SUMBWE is proud to host pupils from the 10 provinces at our head office each year, where they get a chance to shadow real professionals at the workplace.
A pedestrian has died on the spot after being hit by a truck along Great East Road in Lusaka near Technobrain. A QTV news crew that rushed to the scene found the man, believed to be in his 30s, still stuck in the wheels of the truck, registration number BAE 958 and trailer number BAB 98240, before police arrived on the scene to retrieve the body and take it to UTH mortuary. According to some eyewitnesses, the victim is believed not to have been in a good state of mind as he ignored repeated advice to move out of the road. And police spokesperson Esther Katongo has named the driver of the truck as Derek Mono, age 31, of house number 3314/12 Chunga. Mrs. Katongo says the deceased is believed to have been playing on the road when he was hit. Would like to warn our viewers that the picture you're about to see might be disturbing. Government says Zambia has not fully exploited its potential in agriculture due to a number of challenges, including low investment and participation of the private sector. Ministry of Agriculture Chief Economist Christopher SUMBWE notes that while the country has policies in place to facilitate the participation of both private and public sectors in the economy, the agriculture sector has not taken advantage of the enabling environment to attract agriculture public-private partnerships. Speaking during the multi-stakeholders dialogue to improve the design, implementation and impact of the public-private partnerships in Zambia's agriculture sector, Mr. SUMBWE has attributed this to the unique nature of agriculture public-private partnerships, PEP, which appear to fall outside the conventional institutional framework for governing PPPs. Mr. SUMBWE says this has proven difficulty for the agriculture sector to fit into the existing PPPs framework. He says because of these challenges, the agriculture sector currently has no formal public-private partnerships apart from the traditional outgrower or contract farming arrangements, where promoters and smallholder farmers have gone into partnerships in the production of some selected commodities such as sugarcane, cotton, and soya beans.
It is my hope and trust that this high-level roundtable dialogue will come up with recommendations that will help all of us to come up with an appropriate framework that will make the PPPs work in agriculture. I'm also confident that the dialogue will afford an opportunity to all stakeholders gathered here to share practical experiences on how the PPPs in agriculture have worked in other countries, including African countries.
Speaking at the same event, Food Agriculture Organization FOA Assistant Representative Geoffrey Chomba has noted the need for the country to advocate for the creation of a stable and predictable policy environment conducive to private sector investments.
Public-private partnership for agriculture transformation is key. In this context, innovative partnerships that bring together business, government, smallholder farmers and civil societies are increasingly being promoted as a mechanism to improve productivity and drive inclusive growth in the agriculture sector. Private partnerships are an important mechanism for attracting investment and technical expertise. In response to continuing growth in food and feed demand, population growth, rising incomes and urbanization for agriculture products, agriculture and agribusiness should be active.
Government says it puts arts on top of its developmental agenda as it greatly contributes to the realization of economic diversification and job creation. Speaking during a media briefing to announce the relaunch of the Ngoma Awards in Lusaka, Acting Tourism and Arts Minister Joyce Sumukoko says that government will continue to provide an enabling policy environment for all arts and artists to thrive. Mrs. Sumukoko says her ministry is delighted with the reintroduction of the Ngoma Awards as they will increase the visibility of local artists. She has since called on the National Arts Council of Zambia to closely work with the Ministry of Tourism and Arts to ensure that the return of the awards is not only a reality but also a spectacular occasion. We have more details in this report.
The Ngoma Awards are a proudly Zambian brand designed to recognize, honor, motivate, and celebrate the Zambian artists. The awards, which were launched 20 years ago and hosted for 14 years, have since 2012 been put on hold. The National Arts Council has, however, relaunched the awards as it celebrates the silver anniversary and the 2019 Year of Arts. The relaunch and the unveiling of the rebranded Ngoma Awards trophy was officiated by Acting Minister of Tourism and Arts, Joyce Sumukoko.
As a ministry, we are delighted that the reintroduction of the event will again increase the visibility of our artists, which makes me, as minister, very happy.
This year's Ngoma Awards will have a total of 35 awards from 7 different categories, as announced by National Arts Council Chairperson Patrick Samwimbila, who also assured the Council's commitment to raising the bar for the award.
We are determined as a Council to rebrand the awards, to raise the bar of excellence and prestige of these awards. A total of 35 awards from the 7 major categories, which I want to read out here. The visual arts category will have a number of awards in there. The stage theater category will also have a number of awards in there.
Legends in the film industry of the likes of Mumba Kapumpa and Mlenga Kapwepwe were also present at the relaunch.
Because really this has a history, a very long history, which goes to Thailand and making and eventually coming into what it is. I'm sure at some point it will be discussed to what does this mean. First of all, the top part here is the drum. Now the drum in Africa is what was used when somebody is born. The drum was used to send the message. When there is a war, the drum was used to send the message. When there is marriage, the drum was used. When you die, the drum was used. So the drum is a symbol of a message. And art, every form of art is a message. Yeah.
There is nothing that enriches an artist's CV more than an award. Yeah. That is what makes an artist become the big name, get into the big time, and be recognized by the nation. And let me say this, Minister, because maybe the battle is still ongoing. One of the reasons why the Ngoma disappeared is because we were negotiating for government to actually put the Ngoma under the honors, the National Honors and Awards Committee, so that it becomes the national award that it is.
The 2019 Ngoma Awards are expected to be held on 7th December at Mulungushi International Conference Center. Nakaonga reporting for QTV News in Los.
To end our news, we have the first making headlines. Finance Minister Wale Nando says government has put a lid on green borrowing. The Ministry of